This was me 4 years ago. I was 130 pounds. I looked terrible. That was my birthday, that photo with my family. I was 130 pounds and I was disabled from a concussion. I couldn't really move out of my house. I was housebound for over a year. I couldn't see properly. I couldn't hear properly. And my heart wasn't even working right. I had something called POTS, postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Now, before all of that, I was actually living in Israel with my ex-girlfriend for about 2 years. And I was in good shape. I was in the gym. I was maybe 150 pounds. And I was in great shape. Healthy. Nothing wrong with me ever. I lived a healthy life up until that. But before I flew home, the day before I flew home, on June 1st of 2020, I had an incident where I got a concussion. I was on a bus and actually hit my head on a metal bar in the bus as it hit a bump. And it sent me down a devastating spiral over the course of a year. So yeah, I went to every neurologist I possibly could go to. I read all the studies on the internet. I allocated all of my time during this period. I would stay at my house because I couldn't really leave. I was so burdened with symptoms and headaches and fatigue and anxiety and no sleep and just an overall terrible quality of life. I couldn't function as a normal human like I normally could before. I spent all that time just trying to figure out how I can get better, really. At the beginning of the first month when I flew back home, I didn't know what was going on. I thought it would be over within 2 weeks and I'd be back to normal. You know, I had another concussion before that and it took me all of 2 weeks to get better. Nothing happened. I saw the doctor, they told me to rest and I was good. So this one was different. Actually, after the second week, when I flew back home, symptoms got even worse. So it threw me off, and that's when I started to worry. You know, that 1 month goes by, and I see a neurologist. They told me you'll get better. I didn't get better. It was only up until about the 4th week that I realized I had a serious issue on my head, and I actually went to a neurologist in New York City, and I got a proper diagnosis, which is when I found out that I had POTS, and my heart wasn't working properly, because your brain and your heart are connected. In very rare situations, people that have head injuries fall into this. So for myself, I was 120 beats per minute just sitting here in this chair, normal, just even laying down. And you can only imagine how that makes you feel every day. So during that time, I didn't really take no for an answer. I wanted to understand what my life was going to be like. I didn't know if this was going to be my future. I didn't know if this was a permanent thing, if this was going to be temporary, if I was going to fully recover, if I was going to halfway recover, or what. So, and the unfortunate thing is that during that time in 2020, 2021, there are studies out there on this, but there's really not too much straightforward information to tell you how to do this properly. My neurologist that was specializing in this in New York City with NYU Langone was telling me you recover, and then everything you read on the internet tells you otherwise. So I didn't know what direction I was going to head in, but I didn't really take no for an answer. So I read everything I could on the internet. I ended up flying out to Chicago. I got specialized glasses made for me, and they helped me read, but they didn't fix the issue. After using them for a few months, it didn't really fix anything. I spent a lot of money, $4,000 on those, and they didn't do it. I went to Chinese acupuncture. I tried to optimize my sleep as much as possible. I ate consistently every day. I couldn't really even eat, to be honest. I ate one protein cookie a day. I remember I would just eat a singular protein cookie a day because that's all I could appetite. My headaches would get worse if I ate. So my sleep was non-existent. That was the other thing. And I found myself going in circles, nothing working. 1 year goes by. I tried running. I listened to my neurologist. Told me, do cardio. All the studies online tell you to do cardio. You'll recover. I did cardio every day. I ran like 2 miles, and I got shin splints. So my legs were in pain at that point after 3 to 6 months of doing this every single day, which was the hardest task imaginable, to just get up off my chair and force myself to jog. So my stamina didn't really improve either. So it didn't fix anything. So after that, I found myself going to a different neurologist, and I've sought several others before this, but I went to the serious top 1% that I could find. And he was also in New York City, and he specialized in this. And I'll never forget, he told me this can go one of 3 ways for you, Luke. You'll either fully recover in time, and we don't know how long that'll take. There's no telling how much time. You'll either stay the same, possibly for the rest of your life, or you could potentially get worse. So this wasn't the answer I wanted to hear, but I just wanted a straightforward, honest answer. And I ended that call with him. I believe he charged my insurance like $900 for like a 15-minute or 30-minute Zoom call. And I just went home that day feeling like, wow. I saw another cardiologist, same thing, except she actually didn't see anyone that recovered. She saw about 28 patients like myself, nobody recovered. So it wasn't until that I continued to read online, and I stumbled across a place called neurotalk.org. And I saw a thread on there. It was basically like a forum where people with very rare neurological conditions go to, or just neurological conditions in general, that go to communicate on what they're doing, how they're recovering, and things like this. So I found one thread of a few guys that were just like myself, but 10 years plus down the line of problems and their life being shit. Absolute shit. And a few of them were saying, we've tried everything, like I did. It's been 10 years, and the only thing that got me feeling better, they said, was serious resistance training in the gym, like working out. So they said that things got much worse for their headaches and their fatigue and all these sorts of things that their concussions gave them. POTS got way worse before it got better. So it felt like I was almost taking a risk, because once I saw this, it gave me some level of hope actually, and I thought, shit, they're feeling better, why can't I? So within like a week, I structured my entire life to just prepare to get into the gym. I signed up to a New York sports club, about 10 minutes from me, and set my sleep timer, got my diet ready, ground beef and everything. Got it completely ready. And I made sure that I was going there focused and that there was no other option. Ibuprofen, liquid IV, all this stuff I was preparing. So I signed up to this gym, and the only thing I could really do when I signed up was row. So, sitting on a machine and rowing. So I'd take my ibuprofen, my liquid IV, hydrate, and I was rowing, and I'd row for about 3 hours every day. And they were right. Everything got so much worse. So much fucking worse before it got better. So I remember leaving the gym, my head was pounding. Even during the workout, my head absolutely pounding. Just fatigued, everything. So, and then, this was about, I want to say 4 weeks in, of going there every single day. Every single day. Rowing, and maybe did some biceps too in between that, and maybe a leg machine. I experimented a little bit. So I pushed myself as hard as possible. And it wasn't until that 4th week that I was sitting at my desk just like this, my head down on the desk, very tired, that I felt the difference in my body happening in real time. My head literally started to decompress. A feeling that I had not felt for maybe 2 years at this point, since June 1st of 2020. Well over a year and a half, close to 2 years. And I was fucking astounded. I immediately just sat there and opened my eyes, thinking to myself, what the fuck is going on? And I started to see clearly again. I forgot, it has been so long since I was normal that I forgot what it was like to see clearly. I forgot what it was like to hear clearly. And just be able to think clearly. And my entire mind cleared up, my vision and hearing cleared up. It was fucking astounding. So I started to actually cry out of just sheer excitement and joy. And the first thing I did, I'll never forget this, I got up out of my chair, my computer desk, just like this, went to my bedroom, and I put Eminem on my phone, and started doing push-ups in my bedroom. Crying while I'm doing push-ups on the floor, just out of just fucking relief and hope. I hadn't had that hope. I hadn't had that hope in since that injury. I didn't know if I was gonna recover. So I get choked up thinking about that sometimes because it's a very emotional moment. Yeah, I didn't think I was gonna recover. So I thought my life was over for a long time. There's too many things I've seen and read that made me lose hope. So that moment gave me hope again. And then I just started pushing my life in the gym. Because when you've had your health, I was born healthy, in a healthy body. When you live in a healthy body your whole life and then it's completely taken away from you, then it puts life into perspective and what really matters and what's number one. And that is your fucking health. If you don't have a healthy body and mind, the way I saw it and experienced it, that there is no purpose to life. You can't enjoy waking up in the morning. You can't enjoy the things that you found most enjoyable in your life anymore. Nothing matters. So that's when I went all in. And I went absolutely focused on optimizing myself as much as humanly possible. So in that New York Sports Club, over the course of the next 6 months, I trained like an animal. Stayed there for 3 hours every day. Sick, rain, snow, no matter what was occurring in my life, I got there every single day and I made it happen. Created my routines, I created that diet, I tweaked things in real time as I progressed in my weights and in my movements and mobility and energy and everything. I just progressed like in a linear fashion. Nothing set me back, no sickness, nothing. Because I said there's no way I'm going back to the way I was feeling before. I will continue in this way. So I did that for 6 months, every day. And I ended up creating my own group in the gym. I was doing calisthenics-based workouts, and I had a hybrid approach to my training where I would do calisthenics and I would do weightlifting. So my physique was improving, my strength, and all these sorts of things. And within 6 months, I went from 130 pounds to about 175 pounds of just lean muscle. I wasn't fat, I wasn't a dirty bulk. I just gained in a consistent manner because everything I did was absolutely dialed in every way possible. Yeah, I didn't take no for an answer at that point. So I remember people telling me in the gym in my group that they've never seen anything like that. I had people questioning if I was even natural in what I did. I never took anything. I just took creatine and I ate perfectly. I slept as good as I could. It was still not good at all. Sleep was still terrible, actually. That was the one thing I couldn't perfect because I still have problems with that. But everything else that was in my control, I perfected. And so within 6 months, I gained 45 pounds of lean mass. And I was as strong as I've ever been. And I just had people coming up to me asking questions, and I had random ladies in the gym asking me, I've never seen anything like that. What did you do? You know, like I remember this like 55-year-old woman asked me, I remember seeing you when you first came here. You're not the same person. So it's nice to hear these things. And you know, when you progress in this way from that point that I was at in this photo, I'll bring it up again. This was before I started training in the gym. I was 130 pounds here. 130 pounds, man. With my family there looking terrible. But yeah, I did it, man. And now I think to myself, what is there an excuse for in life? There is no excuse. You know, I have my health again, and I'm in the best shape of my life to this day, and even better. So there is no excuse anymore. I don't really let myself have excuses for my health. There isn't any. So it's one lesson I've learned, and to just appreciate what you have in your health, and it'll change your life, really. Focus on your health and your fitness, and that's the moral of this story. Thank you guys for watching, and take care.